Welcome back to AniPeeps, your go-to destination for all things anime and manga related. I'm one of your co-hosts, Boom. Along with me are the boys, Mighty Mo and Boggs. Benny, how you got? You guys ready for episode 3 of the Manga Rex?
Oh yes.
Need more
Yes,
energy than that,
sir.
man. Need more energy than that. If you don't know, this is episode 3 in the series that we started where I'll be recommending each one of the boys a new manga series, seeing how they like it. I think you only had to read a couple chapters, but if you liked it, you can continue on, of course. We'll go straight into it. Mo, I'm going to start off with yours because I feel like that's the one I like more anyway. So, without further ado, it is Centuria, I believe that's how you say it, right?
Yeah,
Correct me.
Centuria.
Um, this one I'm gonna give a quick synopsis. Try to be quick about it. It's really, if you know the first chapter, right, Mo? You know the whole story, kind of. It's about a main character named Julian. He is a person that's never felt love before. He is a slave. He's on a ship with about 100 other slaves, and they're currently going to a new continent. When there's a slight twist, the crew that's taken the slaves to the new continent is actually planning to kill all the slaves, including Julian, in order to do an insurance scam, I believe, to get all the money back. Because all the slaves are either old people, young kids, or like a pregnant lady. And like I previously mentioned, Julian never was shown any love or anything like that. But right then and there, he felt love for the first time and felt cared because of, I forget her name, but it was a pregnant lady. I think her name was Mira, I think.
Yeah.
And then Mira, right? Myra? Just call her Myra. Mira? Which one is it, Mo?
I'd go with Mira.
Mira, right when the crew started killing off the slaves, when it just became Julian and Mira, so all other slaves died, this mystery creature came out of the water, and eventually saved Julian and gave him the power of 100 slaves. I know that sounds kind of bad, but he basically got the power of those 100 people, or he got all the lives and powers of those 100 people, right? And with that, I forgot to mention, Mira also sacrificed herself, and she did it with this gruesome, almost epic way where she sacrificed her own life, but she carved the baby out of her stomach, and that baby's name is Diana, and you see her on screen right now, and you see Julian holding her, but now he has all these epic powers, and they eventually go back to shore, and then that's where you follow the story. I know I kind of butchered it, Mo, but anything you want to add for the synopsis of the story? Oops.
No, I mean that was pretty spot on.
Mhm.
Like you said, I guess that a little context. Julian, like his mother sold him off
Oh, there it
she
was, yeah.
sold him at a very young age. So that's part of why he's never known love. Like even when he's talking to Mira, and I think some of the people that he meets once he gets on shore, like he says, like I always thought that was normal to like not have a bond with your mother, and so he feels like a lot of sorrow for Diana for having to be separated from her mother, and so that creates kind of a special bond between him and Diana, and him telling her like, I won't leave you alone. And you kind of see little glimpses before the crew turned bad and tried to murder them all, where like she's kind of telling him like, oh, like this is a baby, like, and then like when they cry it means they need something. And so like kind of learned a little bit of things about the baby, but at the same time he's like almost doesn't know what to do about this baby too, like he himself is
Mhm.
still just a kid.
I
But
think his goal is to give Diana like a happy life, right? I think that's what he keeps saying, right? That's his like
mhm,
mission for this whole manga, right?
yeah, yeah, well, that's a story. And then I think like I made it to, I think, about chapter 11, so right after the forest arc,
Okay.
the introduction to that. So, I guess for mild spoilers, mild context, the sea beast doesn't seem to be the only beast in this, I'll say, like, universe, in
Mm-hmm.
this story. Um, I would almost call them like deities in a way, especially because they're representing like different planes of land. Um, you had like the ocean deity, and now and then the forest deity in the second bit. But yeah, dude, this one was at first I was like, I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
It was
especially
just
after
kind
the
of a roller
first one,
coaster of
man.
emotions. Yeah, and then like see the whole ocean bit. He makes it to shore, and then it's kind of like, okay, what's gonna happen? So like that was kind of a low for me, and then the
Hmm.
forest bit brought it back up. Um,
And I think I'm pretty much caught up. It does go up again because you realize, like you mentioned, there's other people with these special powers. And the reason why I like this so much, the art, and you both read Berserk too, like the monsters and stuff look just like out of
Oh, that
like a
looks awesome,
Berserk.
dude.
You know what I mean?
mhm,
Yeah, even
yeah,
like the environment, like the detail of the
Like the way
environment.
he uses I don't know if it's he or she, the author, uses black. You know what I mean? Where it's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's like a
black and
black cap. Yeah, yeah.
it's it's
No,
insane, dude.
that looks awesome.
Cause like
yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, the art style is very definitely inspired by the Berserk style. That like very very detailed but dark in like kind of gruesome monsters.
mhm,
You see a lot of them, yeah, with like the octopus one, the little fishes that were like the fish monsters that were
like half
floating
human
around the
face, right?
boat in the very beginning. Yeah, yeah. It's like it looks human, but it's obviously not. And yeah, a lot of inspiration from Berserk for sure for this one.
And I see what you mean because before this forest arc, it was like you had some time where they're just building a house. It's like not as interesting, right? But once you get into
Hmm.
like the interesting points and the fights, if you keep reading it, it just goes off though. So I think it's very you need to get past maybe the first 5 6 chapters and it just takes off. But the art is insane though for sure.
Yeah,
Even the
definitely
cover,
the
I
high
like. I
point.
really like the character, how
Yeah,
the character looks.
uh, yeah, Mr. Julian right here. And I know he's all scratched up and scarred up. And then I don't know if you can tell, but the eye too, you can see like that's where his like 100
It's like
people power comes from. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
looks like
yeah. It's like
Venom.
that appears when he's using the power
Of 100, I guess 101 people,
of the
right? If
people.
you include himself. But yeah, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool because he does have 100 lives or 101 lives, so you can just see once you get into the more fights with the more OP opponents, you'll see him utilize that too. Very creative once he uses that. But dude, this art for me, this scene was crazy, man. That's why I kept reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when they did this close up of like the people hanging on the thing too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really consciously think about it that, but now we're talking about it. Like, yeah, the Berserk influence is a big plus in this one.
It's kind of twisted too, like Berserk, like the deaths are really like crazy, like these get lured
Hmm.
out there and get trapped out there, and you still see them.
Damn, this is a Shonen Jump Plus too, huh?
Yeah. Another pretty dark one
It's
for
changing
Jump.
the wave. That is true.
No, they've been cooking, man. But no, yeah, this one's super interesting. I think I'll check this one out.
And I think the first chapter is pretty long too, so maybe just read that one if you like it or not. But I think it's like
Yeah.
50 or 60 pages or something like that. It's pretty girthy. 80 pages. Just check. 80 pages. So, but yeah, Mo. Anything else you want to add before I turn to Boggs' manga?
No, that's pretty much it. Great recommendation. I'll definitely take some time to get caught up with this one and maybe stay caught up, see how it continues to progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir. On to Mr. Boggs's. I only know the English title, but it is "Fall in Love, You False Angels." Boggs, if you want to say the Japanese title, if you want to.
Koiseyo Mayakashi Tenshi-domo. So yeah, pretty much the same.
Yes, sir. I only read a couple. I think it was like 10 chapters of this one, but Anime Man says it the best. It's basically a shojo version, more heavily shojo version of Kaguya-sama. You see these two main characters. The female is the president of student council, and the male is the vice president. And you can obviously tell from the pictures in the manga they're like perfect, but there's also this twisted side of them that you get to find out about. And at first you figured out that it's kind of reminds me of Oshinoko Boggs, if you remember that one girl that was supposed to be perfect but kind of like a Yankee almost, like, almost like a Garu.
Uh, Ushinoko?
Oh, not Oshinoko. Sorry, the deer show.
Shanoko?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Shanoko. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know what you. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
kind of like that, and then you find out the guy is also like that. So in order to keep their secret, they start to work closer together, and then that's where I really left off. But then you just see their romance also
Mm-hmm.
develop throughout the manga or the chapters I read.
Yeah, I guess I do see the Kaguya connection because like you said, pretty much, both of them are pretty much seen as perfect, best looking male, best looking female, like a Madonna in the school. They're both like heralded as a top. And, it's funny and pretty cute. Like, at least in the early chapters, she gets almost like shot by Cupid each chapter with, him because he's like a very perfect guy. And she's kind of stressing, like, I'm very good looking and really good girl. Like, I kind of want to have him feel that way towards me. So it's like the pride aspect of Kaguya, I guess, where
Mm-hmm.
Both Kaguya, Shirogane, both are too prideful to be the one to confess. It's almost like that in the sense. So
I do
definitely
love her
do
character
get
design
the
though,
connection
man.
there. Hmm.
Let me show that picture. How far did you get to this one? A couple chapters, I'm guessing. I don't think there's that much
Uh,
out. Yeah.
I read at least one volume. I think I somewhat caught up on this one. So
Oh, nice. But anything else you want to add to this one, Bars?
yeah, this one, the beginning for those who have seen or read, uh, what's it called? Uh, Karekano, really kind of reminds me of that because at least initially, the big premise is, like I said, they're both like very popular individuals in the school, but that's only on the surface level, and
Mm-hmm.
their true selves is much different from who they really are. And they reveal their true self to each other, and that's kind of like their link where that's where it's, I guess, somewhat pivots from Katakano. But that's when like Boom mentioned, that's when it's like, okay, we know our true selves, so let's just keep it within each other. I know your true self, you know my true self, let's only show this to each other, kind of thing. And that's where the romance blossoms. I will say this is a bit more on the definitely much more on the shojo side, where uh I
It,
guess it's more of her getting the guy to um I guess fall in love with her, kind of
yeah,
thing.
and like the
But
way the guy looks too, it's like a
yeah, he's like a super
classic.
sexy dude and
Yeah.
like long hair, and because on the surface level he's a very not nerd, but straight edge kind of guy, very nice, helping everyone. But his true side is kind of not almost bad boy esque. He has like piercings that he covers with his
Mm-hmm.
hair in school and stuff like that. But um, so that's where the shojo aspect comes, where obviously the guy's super hot. It's kind of like
Whoa.
Whoa,
Taichuan
Boggs.
Maid-sama. I mean, but that's how shojos are. It's more of like, yeah, it's not where the main protagonist kind of, he doesn't treat her like shit, but
Mm.
it's kind of like the shoujo trope where he's just super cool and uh
A little
like
too cool,
she,
man.
she yeah, a little too cool. So but and she just really can't get him flustered. But what makes that kind of premise really good is like the few times at least I've seen, and definitely we're gonna have to see as this manga progresses, is like eventually that's got to break where something happens where he becomes flustered too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that I think we're all waiting for that moment. And
Um,
but yeah, this one starts off pretty fast, right? Like she pretty much immediately kind of realizes her feelings for
mm-hmm.
him, which is pretty good. Especially because the premise is around two very, I guess, prideful people. So I'm glad it wasn't one of those that just stretched super long, of it taking so many chapters for her to realize, and then even more chapter for him to realize. He At this point he seems to know, but he hides it good, and she she realizes pretty quick of her feelings towards him. So
And Boggs, I don't know about you, but when I was reading it, dude, at some moments I was like, this dude is so corny, man. But
Yeah, no, that's
the
where
only
I
thing
feel
I
like
would
the
say,
shoujo
man.
part. No, I do agree. That's kind of where the shoujo part comes in. Like that's for the, I guess, female fan service.
Because at one point I was like, I was reading on the iPad at home. I was like, yo, I don't want my brother to see me reading this. You know,
Oh shit.
what are you
Yeah,
reading,
yeah,
man?
yeah. This is definitely one. I mean, I really enjoyed this one, but definitely much more shoujo. So there will be a lot of scene where it's like fan service towards the female
Yeah.
audience. I will say I do want to see. I think where I left off, there seemed to be maybe one, um, maybe like a more major character, but I do like this. I would like to see more expansion to like other characters. We've
Other
seen
than just
a
those two, right?
few of yeah, we've seen a few of her friends, but aside from that, and it didn't really go too deep into that. So
But again,
I
her
I do want
character
to see a
design
bit
is
more.
OP, man. I really do like
Yeah,
her
no,
character design.
she's really cute too when she
Hmm
gets flustered and she gets, I guess, shot by Cupid's
hmm
arrow, and she's like, why am I the only one feeling this way? I want him, he should be the one that's kind of being flustered because of me, kind of thing. So I do like that aspect of it.
Mo, this picture makes you think me and Boggs are freaks, huh? Look at that dude, man.
Eh,
That boy pretty as hell, man.
I'm saying, man, a little too much though, like Boom said.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
and to that point, sometimes it does get a little bit to the corny side. Sometimes,
We're trying to read those pages fast.
but no, I still enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was still good, man. But other than that, boys, thank you for reading my recommendations. Anything you guys want to say before we peace out another episode?
Thanks for the recommendation. I'll definitely be checking out Centuria. That
Centuria,
was
big
sounded
dog.
awesome. This series is getting
Japanese name is
better.
Ken.
Oh, really? Dang,
Who
man.
knows?
Yeah, I
Who knows?
wasn't.
Oh, you could have helped
But
me
no,
out, Mo.
that one sounded really good.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, man, but the art is insane, dude. Um, especially when the thing Mo was talking about too. Once you get to the other sea monsters too, it's kind of creepy, but it's still good. Kind of like that Berserk thing, you know.
Hmm.
You still appreciate it. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you ever read one of these mangas or you plan to do so. Other than that, peace out.
See ya.
Later.